All right, all right. We are back. It is 12:33, and you're tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on kinetichi.com. It's time for some more Heart Talk. Heart Talk is the talk portion of our show. This is where we renew our minds and restore our hearts. And Heart Talk this week has been about the week of heart. We did healing on Monday, enlightenment on Tuesday, authenticity on yesterday, and today we're talking about revitalization, the act of being strong and active again, the power giving continuance of life, getting back to that. That's present in all living things. So if you're alive, if you're living, you need to be revitalized to stay living. We've talked about what revitalization is. The last segment, we talked about what it isn't. In this segment, I want to talk to you a little bit about tears, tears that are coming from your tear ducts. Lacrimation is the secretion of tears, which often serves to clean and lubricate the eyes in response to an irritation of the eyes. I want to talk a little bit about tears simply because the I don't think that many people really realize the power that crying does for them and allowing tears to flow. And I feel like it's a key part of the healing and revitalization process, the heart process. When I was a child, my grandmother would tell me, you better cry or it's going to kill you if you don't. If you hold that stuff in, it's going to kill you. You better let it out. And I used to be like, I don't understand why it made such a big deal because I saw so many people who found their worth and their strength through not crying. And I'm not going to cry. I'm going to hold back my tears. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to stand up for myself. And I don't know who taught us or told us that standing up for ourselves or being strong meant the absence of tears or the absence of crying. Crying is to shed tears, especially as an expression of distress or pain, to shout or scream, especially to express one's fear, pain, or grief. That's what crying is defined as. I was talking to a friend of mine about this topic, and she told me, and I'm working on getting that research now. But I googled it. I just haven't had a chance to read through the actual study. But there have been scientific studies done to show the toxicity. Okay, we're working with it. Shangri-La, I got that. I'm still in my little utopia right here. Heart Connections is my Shangri-La, but I'm trying to figure out how to say toxicity. I should know that. But anyways, y'all pray for me. The toxicity of tears. And under human tears were designed to be excreted, released from the body. Okay. You were not supposed to be holding them in. You're not supposed to be holding them in. So the study my friend was telling me about, it talked about how the lab rats were fed human tears, like drops of human tears, and it eventually killed them. So certain hormones and things like that are released when we cry. Some of these hormones actually cause us to relieve pain. It brings about a mood change when we cry. When you cry and you feel that release and you feel that let go, that's not just happenstance. God gave us a personal way to release steam in our lives. Think about a pressure cooker and how much those things are cooking under that pressure. And when that steam comes out, and that's something dangerous to play with, those pressure cookers. And I want you to understand that in this heart process, many of us are walking around like ticking time bombs, like pressure cookers. And we need to allow our bodies to release those tears. Jesus told the woman at the well that he could give her living water, that she would thirst no more. Because the water that we drink here naturally we will be thirsty again. When we're revitalized and we allow the washing of the Holy Spirit over our lives, we don't have to thirst anymore. We can understand that there is healing and enlightenment and breakthrough and authenticity in our tears. Our tears are, for the most part, they should be authentic. Tears can come, tears of joy, can be tears of happiness, tears of sorrow, tears of anger. They can represent so many different things. And do you know that the hormones released in those tears, depending on your mood, those things can change? What am I saying? A part of revitalization is letting go of the things that hurt you, the things that have broken you, the things that have damaged you, the things that have been destructive. And sometimes that those feelings have to be released for you to experience this life again, for you to be renewed and to be restored. And I want you to understand that it's so necessary, absolutely necessary. And I need you to understand that there's nothing weak about you when you cry. I feel like some of us just need to cry. We just need to let out a cry. I don't want you to know, I want you to no longer associate strength with a lack of crying or a lack of tears because that's inaccurate. And it's so important that I felt the need to do this segment of Heart Talk about it. This is such a big deal. I know people who say stuff like, I told myself I wasn't going to cry. I told myself I wasn't going to let them know how I felt. After we talked about authenticity, why are you trying to hold back how you feel? Why don't you want to express how you really feel about what's going on in your life? When you have family members and friends doing things, I remember having a client at one time, and she and her mom were really close. But it was like she was angry with her. She was very angry with her mother because there were certain things that she couldn't open up and talk to her about. And she felt like if she did share it with her, then she would lose that closeness and that connectivity that they had. And it was something that she was not even allowing herself to grieve personally. She wouldn't even allow herself to feel what she was really going through. And all I told her to do was just cry and let it out. Just tell God how you really feel. And after she released it, what happened was God gave her guidance and understanding and ways to handle the situation. So, what am I saying? The tears that you cry bring about the revitalization. We know that in order for a plant to grow, it needs water and sunlight, and it needs to be in healthy soil. It needs to be in a productive environment. I want you to remember that when you think about your life right now. I want you to understand that you need to allow the water of the tears in your life to flow. I know y'all like, what? Why? You telling me? Yes, I'm telling you to cry. Just cry about it. Let it out, whatever it is. I cry sometimes watching Hallmark commercials. My kids, my children and my husband always laugh when we're watching TV. If it's anything that could pull on emotion or anything, it's almost like now I'm trying to like hide my tears with them because they tease me all the time. They're like, you cry for everything. You're always crying. And it wasn't like that before, but it's like that now because I've allowed myself through this heart process to feel, whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling. But feeling lets me know that I'm alive, right? Because when things go dull or numb, they're broken, destroyed, and damaged, sometimes you question the vitality. Is it really working? Is it alive? And our tears remind us of that. So, yes, if the commercial is happy and some soldier came home from Afghanistan and surprised his mom, I'm going to cry. And sometimes I cry with those pitiful dog commercials and that lady singing in the background. My goodness. But I laugh at myself because it is, I know some people like, you're just being dramatic, but this is how I look at it. I look at it like I'm allowing myself to be human and be in connection with the world around me. I am allowing myself to constantly be vital and live and move. Why? Because I'm staying in the flow of what's going on around me. I'm being revitalized. The state of being strong and active and full of energy. I'm constantly going through life and just allowing it to keep going, not dying, not getting stuck, not stopping. Just imagine if something could stop the cycle of the seasons. If something could physically stop right now, and I mean, God can, I believe He can. But just imagine if someone could get mad and just, or get frustrated, or get tired of trying and just stop the earth from spinning. That's what we do when we stop ourselves from growing, when we deny ourselves this healing process, when we deny ourselves the ability to cry. Let that water from those tears actually nourish and revitalize those wounds in your life. It's time for you to heal. It's time for you to let go. You can do this. I know you can. There's no doubt in my mind. So let's be revitalized. Let's cry. Let's let those tears roll. Just let them flow. They'll dry. It'll be okay. Cry when you're happy. Cry when you're sad. Cry when you're confused. Cry when you just don't know. It's all right. Water those seeds. Remember, one plants, one waters. God provides the increase. Allow for the increase to happen. Water the seeds. Be revitalized. This is your time. This is your time. Believe it. I came here to tell you, God put me on the station to do Heart Connections just to let you know now is your time. So you can cry all the way to where you're supposed to be. And we'll love you all the way through. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, right here on Heart Connections and KineticHiFi.com. This segment has been brought to you by Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, your journey to living and loving again. And you can pre-order your copy of Help Save Me from My Broken Heart at theheartconnections.com. Theheartconnections.com. We'll be back with more life hacks and historical facts, and of course, some more great music. In the meantime, let's let Amy Winehouse tell us a little bit about these tears. Tears dry on their own right here. Kai Hi Fi.